All right, let's dive in. Every single time you open a browser, you're basically starting a conversation with a computer somewhere else in the world. But what if you could just cut out the middleman? What if you could talk directly to that server? Well, today, that's exactly what we're going to do, using a super simple, super powerful tool called cURL.
Seriously, think about that for a second. Have you ever just wanted to get the raw, unfiltered information from a website? Before it's all styled up with pretty fonts and colors and ads everywhere? That's what we're doing today. We're going to listen in on the web's most basic conversations, straight from the source.
So, the tool that unlocks all this, it's called cURL. It might sound a little techy, but trust me, the idea behind it is incredibly simple and, frankly, pretty awesome.
Okay, so what is it? The name cURL is short for Client URL, and it's a command line tool. That just means you type commands into a terminal instead of clicking on things in a browser. It lets you have a direct, text-based chat with a web server. No pictures, no graphics, just pure, unadulterated data.
I absolutely love how our source material puts it. This quote just nails it. It's tiny and simple. You don't need some huge, clunky program. All you need is this one little tool to talk to basically any website out there.
At this point, you might be thinking, okay, that's kind of neat, but I have a browser. Why would I ever need this? And you know what? That is a totally fair question. So before we actually use it, let's talk about why cURL is like a secret weapon for so many people in tech.
The advantages are pretty clear. First off, it's just plain simple. The commands are straightforward. It's also incredibly fast because you're not waiting for images and scripts to load. But here's the real game changer. It's perfect for automation. You can write simple scripts that use cURL to check if a site is up or download files on a schedule. And finally, it's like a universal translator. It works with almost any internet protocol you can throw at it.
To really get this, we've got to try it out for ourselves. But we're not just going to point this thing at some random site on the internet. Nope, we're going to set up our very own safe practice area, a little digital playground where we can experiment without worrying about breaking anything.
For our playground, we're using something called Metasploitable 3. It's basically a virtual server that's built for practice. The setup is super easy. We log in, and then we run a command called ifconfig. This is just us asking the server, hey, what's your address on this network? And the number it gives back, that inet address, that's our target. Think of it as the server's street address.
Okay, our playground is ready to go. We have our target's address. Now, it's time for the main event. Let's put cURL to work and make our very first web request right from the command line.
But hold on. Before we make our request, we should probably check to see if anyone's home, right? We do that with a command called ping. It's literally like knocking on the server's door. We send a few little digital notes, or packets, and if they come back to us, like you see here with 3 packets received, we know the server is online and ready to chat.
And here it is, the big moment. Look how simple this is. It's just the word cURL followed by the IP address of our server. That's it. This is us asking the server, hey, what do you have on your main page?
And bam, the server replies instantly. But notice what we get back. It's not a pretty polished website. It's the raw HTML code. This is the actual blueprint of the web page. You can see the title, the head, the body, everything. We just got a message straight from the heart of the website.
Now, you don't always have to use those clunky numbers. Just like your browser, cURL is smart enough to understand domain names too. So you can use the direct IP address, or you can use a friendly name like example.com. Either way, you'll get to the same destination.
And it gets even better. You're not stuck just on the home page. If you know the path to a specific page on a website, like this /chat/ folder, you can ask for that directly too. cURL lets you explore an entire website right from your keyboard.
So let's just pause for a second and think about what we just accomplished. It might feel like we just typed one simple command, but what we did actually represents a whole new way of interacting with the internet.
And this is really the key takeaway. With one little word, cURL, and an address, you just bypassed the entire graphical side of the web. You went straight to the source. You've opened a direct line of communication, and now you're the one driving the conversation.
So you've done it. You've knocked on the door, you said hello, and you got a response. But this is really just the beginning. That door is now wide open to a world of automation, scripting, and a much deeper understanding of how the web actually works. So the only question left is, what are you going to explore next?